Welcome back to Pool Opening 2023, Part 2, removing the plugs and installing the jets. Over here on this side is where the Polaris vacuum, automatic vacuum for the pool goes in. So this got a plug in it, we got to take that out. We'll start with that. Wing nut on it. And wiggle it out, just whatever you have to do. The idea, by the way, is not to drop it in the pool. That helps a lot, I've heard. Before I continue, sometimes you people are going to have a wing nut where the wing breaks off or something like that. You're going to have to improvise and do what you can. Get a pair of pliers, try to grab this. If you can't, try to get in there with a hammer and a screwdriver, flat blade screwdriver, and crack the nut off. Or if you can grab the screw in the center, grab that with a pair of vice grips and work it out. You got to sometimes do what you got to do to make it work if it doesn't want to play nice. So this is the universal ball fitting. It has two ears on the inside of it. This screws in. So you screw it in. It's really not that difficult. Of course, you don't want to cross thread that. Cross thread is better than no thread, but better not to cross thread at all. If you cross thread it, you'll feel it get tight before it's time. This is screwing all the way in. That's what I need. Screw that all the way in. All the way. Okay, that's as tight as I can make it by hand. Oftentimes that's enough. If it's not for you, you're probably going to need a pair of EBFPs. You say, what is that? It's a take on BFH. BFH, of course, is big fucking hammer. So EBFPs is even bigger fucking pliers is what you'll need for that. Big slip joint things like this long. And don't squeeze too hard, because then you'll crack that thing, and at that point you can just drain the whole pool and bring it out to the curb. It's done. Alright, now we're going to go ahead and pull out the plug over here. This one, they put like a weird one in when they closed it. It's got a red wing nut on it. I don't know that that matters. We'll try it. Hopefully it'll come out. I think this plug might be smaller. Wow, it's not good. Okay, it's coming. Yeah, this one is like too small for it, I guess, so there's that. That's what's available. Now we're going to take your jet here. You can adjust these. You got to unscrew that and hold that. And when you do that, there might be a tool that goes in these slots that nobody has or has even ever heard of. So the idea is you want to kind of have these point up, just like that. So if you screw them in all the way down tight and they're pointing down, just unscrew it a bit. If it's loose, it's okay. It's not going to hurt anything. Just go ahead and screw it on in. Again, don't cross thread. where it lands. Ironically, almost straight down. So we just turn it back, pointing straight up, and call that good. I have two more along the wall over there, as you see. I'm going to do exactly the same thing and put exactly the same jets in there. So you just, you could rewatch that part of the video 2 more times to get the gist. Okay, now we do the stair jets. These are complicated, a little bit. So first thing we got is the same type of plug. That wing nut is real nice and tight and doesn't seem to want to move. It seems like it wants to break off. That's wonderful. Just barely got it. There. Why is that so tight? I don't know. Some people are probably wondering why they don't make the wing nuts out of metal. They probably rust in place, and then you're going to have a big problem. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. So we have the stair jets. So these come in 2 pieces, as you see. I have bits of stuff on me from the cover that was here and everything. So we have 2 pieces here. Basically, this is the jet itself, and this is the keeper. That's not going to work. This, however, will work. So, gentlemen, when you find a nice open hole like that, you know what you do. You just go ahead and shove that right in there. That's right. Make sure that's seated in there real good. Okay, make sure it's like all the way in there, just like that. So now the keeper here, it has, they make a tool for this, which again, nobody's ever heard of, you'll never see, you'll never find. But this has 4 little protrusions on it, or tits as we call them in the business. So what you do is you go and put this in there, and you start screwing the tits, start fondling the tits until it gets screwed. This is how it goes. So go around that, and then you got to like reach in there and start fondling the tits until it gets screwed. You just keep going around. Just keep fondling those tits. You know how it likes that. There we go. Tight enough, but not too tight. And once you do that, you can see that now it's nice and erect. And now that it's erect and stand up, you force it down. You got to hold it down if you want to, but you can. And what you do is you want to kind of point that sort of that way. So let it kind of go into the pool a bit. I have another stair jet on the other side of this. It's exactly the same thing. This over here is an air vent in case you want air bubbles for more pleasure. So you can do that if you want once the pool is up and running, but for now we're not going to worry about that. That really is all there is to it. Again, the major snafus that you'll have are those wing nuts breaking off, and again, probably a good pair of vice grips. They also have ones that are kind of like needle nose with the long on it, and you can lock that on the bolt in the center right over here for what you can grab of it. And again, if you have to break the wing nut off, you can use a flat blade screwdriver or something. You have to get creative sometimes to get in there and get these out in the event they do that. And if you do break them, you can find them on Amazon. They're really not that expensive, a few bucks. Not really a big deal. So anyway, that was removing the plugs and installing the jets. That's going to about do it for this part 2 of Pool Opening 2023. I thank you very kindly for watching it. I greatly appreciate it. Make sure you click like make sure you click subscribe. And if you're wondering why I'm yelling through this whole video, if I was wearing a lavalier microphone, that would have ended up in the pool at least 6 times by now. So I'm just going to yell at you. Anyway, that's going to do it. Thanks once again. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.